We've got an account here of the infamous sparring session between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. This sparring session occurred when Anthony Joshua was ABA champion as an amateur, and Tyson Fury, I think, was British champion as a professional. He turned up to the gym, Tyson Fury that is, in Finchley, and they sparred. And in Tyson Fury's own words, Anthony Joshua beat him up. That's not my words. That's not the words of Anthony Joshua's coach. Those were Tyson Fury's words in an interview that he did with Steve Bunce back in the days. Okay? I'm sure you can still watch that on YouTube. But anyway, the reason I had to put that out there right off the bat is because this particular account is from Anthony Joshua's old amateur coach. And so if I don't tell you that Tyson Fury himself said that Anthony Joshua beat him up in sparring, then you might think that, well, that's not a reliable source. It's Anthony Joshua's former amateur coach. He's going to be biased. And you may be right. But as I say, Tyson Fury admitted himself that he got beat up in this sparring session. So I'm going to quote AJ's amateur coach. He said, round one, Fury gets in the ring. First round, I think he thought this is just going to be a walk in the park. But he came out and he sort of laid back and relaxed. Josh walked over and just went uppercut, left hook, and Fury was like wobbling. It was like a kick up the backside. This is serious. This is serious. So anyway, he's got his hand on the rope and I've gone to him, no, you can't do that. And he's gone, oh, sorry, sir. Round two. So he had the first round. Josh done what he wanted really because he sort of dazed him in the first round. Then the second round, Fury comes out and starts talking to Josh. So he's getting in Josh's head a little bit. Now, where Josh was hitting him with the straight shots, Josh is missing him now because he's swinging and he's trying to knock Tyson out. Round three. So Joshua came back to the corner and I've given him a proper telling off. I said, what are you doing? I said, what are you doing? That's what he wants. I said, go out there and do what we were doing in the first round. He went out there and he boxed his head off in the third round. And then Tyson's gone, Sean, let me have one more round. Let me have one more round. And he had a mark under his eye as well. And I said to Josh, jump out, Josh. So the aftermath. He said, after the spar, I said to Josh, ask him if the Rolex was up for grabs because I've seen an interview and he said, if anyone can knock me down, I'll give them my Rolex. So he's sitting on the floor and fair play to him. Joshua went to him, was the Rolex up for grabs? And Fury started laughing. And he, as in Joshua, went, I nearly had it. And we probably nearly did if he followed it up when he grabbed the ropes. He probably would have dropped him. It's neither here nor there, but fair play to him. Tyson laughed and he said, yep, you nearly did, kid. When they came, we had no animosity. He was a really nice lad. I think he's a nice person. He's a boxing man. And when they get it on, that's what it's going to be. It should be about the boxing, but it's going to be the build up and all that. But it's going to make for a brilliant fight. So there you have it. That is the account from Anthony Joshua's former amateur coach. Let me just get his name here. Where's his name at? Sean Murphy, excuse me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. A little bit more detail. I'm sure most of you have heard all about this sparring session before. But how relevant do you think it may be in terms of what happened in it or what was alleged to have happened in this sparring session to their fight as pros? Most people are going to say it means nothing. It was sparring and it was many, many years ago. And in most cases, I would say you're absolutely right. But in this particular case, Anthony Joshua was a raw novice and Tyson Fury was British champion as a pro. So really and truly, shouldn't Tyson Fury have been handling Anthony Joshua with ease? Shouldn't that have been the case? Now, it's interesting, of course, that the trainer told Josh to jump out after 3 rounds. What was that all about? Was it because it was getting too intense and somebody was gonna get knocked out? Maybe AJ was getting tired. Maybe he's the one who was gonna get knocked out. Maybe that's why his trainer told him to jump out the ring. Or perhaps, I don't know, maybe they felt like they couldn't control the two big heavyweights and it could turn into an all-out war. Maybe one of them had a fight lined up and they didn't want the guy to take any damage. Perhaps that was AJ. Who knows? But looking at Tyson Fury and his recent training footage, yes, Tyson Fury's slick and very confident and all this kind of business, but I do wonder whether he's going to be at all bothered by Anthony Joshua's athleticism. I know he's been in there with very athletic fighters before, Vladimir Klitschko. But Anthony Joshua's a lot younger than Klitschko was, and he has the capacity to be more aggressive and more of a combination puncher than Klitschko. So AJ, from what I have seen over the years, I watched all of his fights, of course, watched all of Tyson Fury's fights. AJ's very nimble, particularly at this lighter weight. He's very nimble. He's very precise with his movements. He's got good balance. You very rarely see AJ off balance. And with Tyson Fury, when he's heavy like this, I mean, yeah, he can come forward and try to do what he did against Wilder. But I just wonder whether AJ's accuracy, his precision, his balance is going to cause Tyson Fury some problems. Who knows? But the one thing I've always been tremendously impressed with when it comes to Tyson Fury is his natural confidence. The guy is tremendously charismatic. I mean, I'm sure you've seen all the videos that he's been posting on social media. This guy's everywhere. He's having drinks with Adrian Broner. He's obviously at the Canelo fight, taking pictures with everybody. He's in the mall with, I think it was Teofimo Lopez. He really is out and about, making sure that everybody in American boxing sees his face. And he's a very gregarious character in person. There was a hilarious video I saw of Tyson Fury where he was in his hotel suite dancing to some rock music, singing along with his trainer, Javon Sugar Hill, and they were both getting into it. So he's a very charismatic character. He is, the life and soul of the party, basically. And that carries over, I think, into his performances in the ring. That type of charisma and that type of confidence. And it can affect the opponent. It does affect the opponent a lot of the time. People often say that boxing is whatever, some arbitrary percentage, 80% mental, 20% physical. Whatever percentage you want to use, it's certainly the case that the mental aspect plays a tremendous role in boxing, whereby you can have all the skill and all the talent in the world, but if you don't have the confidence to go with it, you're only going to go but so far. Whereas a guy like Tyson Fury, who he doesn't have the quickest hands in the world. He doesn't throw the straightest shots. Don't get me wrong. He's a good fighter and he is technically good, but there are areas where he's not the best. Okay? He's not the most athletic guy you've ever seen. But the confidence he has, the self-belief he has, you compare Tyson Fury's right hand to Vladimir Klitschko's right hand. Vladimir Klitschko's got a better right hand, folks. You compare their left hooks. Klitschko's got a better left hook, folks. But Tyson Fury had the confidence, the charisma, the jab, the height, the reach, the fluidity, the movement, plenty of physical attributes and physical skill, but the confidence he has, the charisma he has, he brings that into the ring with him and it helps him, like Muhammad Ali used to. Muhammad Ali was a very charismatic man, the most charismatic heavyweight probably ever, certainly the most charismatic heavyweight I've ever seen. And he brought that into the ring and it helped him on many occasions. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, as I say, about this account by Anthony Joshua's former amateur coach of the time that him and Tyson Fury sparred. Is the, or was the experience gap between the two at the time, with Tyson Fury being vastly more experienced than AJ, but AJ still doing very well against him, is that instructive in terms of how the professional fight may go. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you'd like to access all my boxing content advert-free and enjoy the convenience of listening via a podcast app with the option to download in high-quality MP3, then consider joining me on Patreon. In addition to the aforementioned perks, you'll also gain access to exclusive weekly live stream Q&A sessions and hangouts, as well as uncensored, no-holds-barred uploads, which are too blue for YouTube. This includes my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. Just head on over to my Patreon page and select the tier called Hatman Boxing Extra. There's no contract, there's no commitment, it's only £2.50 a month, and you can cancel at any time. So come and join our community of hardcore boxing enthusiasts by signing up with me here on Patreon today.